Every goal needs a plan. And in this video, I'm going to go over my plan on how I'm going to reach a $1 million net worth. Now, according to my plan, it has me at a $1 million net worth in about 11 years, 10 and a half to 11 years. So I just turned 32 yesterday, and this plan puts me at 1 million, somewhere between 42 and 43. So I'm going to say about 42 and a half. My name is Eddie Cespedes, and this is my $1 million diary, where I document my steps on going from $0 to a million in net worth. And so far, I am somewhere around 300,000, which means I'm 700,000 away from reaching my goal, and I will be documenting every step of the way along this magnificent journey. To start this off, I'm just assuming that I'm going based off the assets that I currently have, and I'm using historical data to predict future outcomes, which most likely it won't go like this. So I might be able to reach this goal a lot sooner, or I might be able to reach this goal a whole lot later. So this is just based on appreciation in the real estate market over the last 60 or 70 years, just the average returns, and also based on average returns on the market. And this is assuming that I'm operating how I'm operating right now. All these numbers are conservative. And yeah, so we will see. So to start things off, I currently have 4 properties, and this this net worth for the next 10 years is only going to be based off of these 4 properties. So it's not going to take into account if I buy another one, and it's going to go based off retirement. That's it. It's not going to take into account the cash flow from the properties, and it's not going to take into account any of my other investment accounts. It's just strictly retirement and the current properties that I have, because I'm just going to assume that things are going wrong along the way, and whatever excess money that I make just got poured right back into the property. That's just how I'm going to play, only because it's the most conservative way for me to actually estimate this. And my goal is essentially to work my way to work backwards. So most people, if you retire around 60 or 65, whatever, you pretty much want to start from there. So you want to make sure that you're set at 65, and then you want to work your way all the way back to the present. So I'm currently 32. My goal is essentially to get my $1 million net worth. If initially when I first started, it was gonna be around the age of like 65, right, 70 to or 65 to 70, and then I slowly worked it down to 60, and then 55, and then 50, and now I'm pretty much at 42 and a half. The goal is to get my $1 million net worth, to get this plan to match my current age. So hopefully by next year or the year after, I can get it from 42, maybe bring it down to 40, or bring it down to about 37. Maybe if in the next 3 years I could bring it down to 35, and then I can get my current age to 35, then that'll be the present meeting the future, and then I now have my $1 million net worth. I don't know if that really makes sense. It makes sense in my head. Like, you just want to start backwards. You want to start with the end goal in mind, and then you want to expedite that as quick as you can so that you can achieve that goal, today. Makes sense in my head. Maybe one day I'll learn how to explain it a little bit better. But going into this, the first property that I have is currently valued at about 210,000. Again, this is all conservatively. Actually, the last property sold at 215, and then the one a couple months before that sold at 225. So the property is probably valued between somewhere around 217, 220 probably. I think so. But we'll just use conservative numbers and say the current value is 210,000, and the current loan is $104,233.10. And I'm just gonna use 3.5% yearly returns for this equation, just to be conservative. Over the last 5 years, I think real estate's actually been appreciating like some ridiculous, like 20 to 25%, at least in Florida. I think some property values even doubled. But we'll just use historical data, which is about 4% that the housing market actually appreciates. To be conservative, I use 3.5. It could be a whole lot different, because in today's market, it's been flat for the last couple of years, and some markets have actually even been going down. A lot of my markets have actually been going down as well. But we'll just use 3.5%. So after 11 years, which is roughly around 43 for my age, if it appreciates at 3.5% return, the property should be valued at about $308,446. then the loan would be paid all the way down to $69,000, which means that would create $238,000 or $238,773 in equity. Property number 2 is valued at it's valued at 308,000, and I know that's the actual number, not even being conservative. I just did an appraisal on it last month, so it's valued at 308,000, and the current loan is 205,000 roughly. I got to do some math on that to figure it out, but it's fine. And at a 3.5% return after 11 years, the property will be worth $452,387, and the loan after 11 years will be down to $137,497. Now that will create $314,890 in equity, but I have a partner in that property, so split that by 2. That puts me at $157,000 for this property, $157,445 to be exact. So that's 157 and 238 for the first property. Property number 3 is currently valued at about 295,000. The current loan on that is 264,000, and I have about 15,000 that were deferred. So the total on that is $279,892 left on the loan. After 11 years, that property would now be worth $433,000. 293,000 to be exact, and after 11 years the loan on that will be $201,000, and the equity in total after all these numbers will be $231,834 on that property. So I got 231 on one, 157 on the other, and 238 on the first. Now property number 4, this one is a condo, so I just put 2% yearly return because condos typically appreciate at a little bit lower rate than other residents, and at least in Florida. So here's the thing, condos have been rapidly depreciating, so this might have been a pretty bad investment, but we'll just say 2%. That would at least keep up with the inflationary goal from the feds. The current value is $155,000 on that property. When I bought it, it was actually valued at $173,000, so it's gone down a little bit. And the current loan on that is $118,000, $118,009 to be exact. At a 2% yearly return after 11 years, the property would be valued at $193,106, and the loan would be down to $97,610. So the total equity on that will be $95,496. Now, I don't know what the math is on all of those because I haven't typed that into a calculator. But if I lower my retirement, if I keep my retirement to what I'm contributing right now, and then lower the current 401k match to the 3% on the company, and I extend that over 11 years, my total retirement account will be $297,801. And if you add all of those numbers up from the retirement account and the 4 investment properties, the total net worth after 11 years will be $1,021,349. You take away the $15,000 in deferment, that puts you at about $1,006,000. So in about 11 years, maybe to 10 and a half, I should have $1 million in net worth, assuming I just keep this plan that's currently here right now. And that's the plan that I'm following. So assuming I just slow down and let life take its toll, I should be there by the age of 42 and a half. Now, realistically, I'm probably going to end up doing a whole lot more. Realistically, I'm probably going to get beat up a whole lot throughout this entire journey for the next 10 and a half years or so. But that's the current plan right now. I think probably next year this will look different. If I end up buying another property, this will look different. If I end up making a little bit more money elsewhere and then contributing more to retirement accounts or other stuff that I end up doing, we'll see. Only time will tell. But as for now, that is the current path for me to get from where I'm at now all the way to 1 million. But the goal is to document every step of the way. So This is really just for myself, but at least I'll be able to look back on it, so I can just pretty much stay tuned, and I pretty much just talk to myself when I'm saying that. So if there's anybody watching, or future me is watching, just know this is where I'm at right now, and then this is the current plan. And it's going to be fun to look back on these videos maybe 10 to 15 years from now and see where I was, where my headspace was at, and what the thought process was behind all of these little creative ideas. So thank you very much, and until the next time.